is ear to the ground, is with us. Bhupendra Chaubey, the National Affairs Editor of CNN-IBN, joins us now. Morning, Bhupen. I know you just flew down last night to Delhi from Bihar. What did you pick up on the ground? The crucial third phase, is it neck and neck? Is it tilting towards saffron or away from it?
Yes, Delhi is really a bad place to be in, for over the next 2 days because of all these traffic jams which have been witnessed. And it's almost as if Mumbai has been transported into Delhi. So it took me a good 3 hours last night to come to the office all the way from the airport. But it seems that the saffron combine also has been hit by a jam of sorts. What's been going on over these last 3 phases is that increasingly there is a sense, if one speaks to most BJP leaders, that the first 3 phases haven't really gone down as per expectations of the BJP combine. Now their whole strategy is based on the fact that the forthcoming 2 phases would be good enough for them to really resurrect themselves up from literally the margins of Nadir. But my own bet is that this election campaign hasn't managed itself in a manner in which the BJP was hoping that it will play itself out to be. And that's the main reason why, if you were to be speaking to senior strategizers of the BJP, senior strategizers of the Sangh Parivar, you will see that the frowns on the faces are slowly but surely they're increasing now.
Bhupen, hi, morning. The other big question is, since you have been on ground, the big question was that will Nitish's vote transfer to Lalu as easily as Lalu's votes would transfer to Nitish, since they are both counting on almost same number of seats, because that could change the equation in NDA's favor.
Let me put it this way for you. This Bihar election is a very unique election in multiple ways. Usually what happens is, in an election, there is a villain of the story and then there is a hero of the story. The hero usually comes out all guns blazing and, beats the villain hands down. In this election, the uniqueness is that neither is Mr. Modi being treated as a villain, nor is Nitish Kumar being treated as a villain. The feeling is on the ground that if this was a Lok Sabha election, then people of Bihar would have surely gone ahead and they would have voted for Narendra Modi. There is absolutely no doubt about the fact that the Prime Minister remains the most popular political figure in Bihar. But is it translating itself into votes for the BJP in an assembly election? That's where the real problem lies. And I think on that front, Nitish Kumar is also, overturning a lot of these conventional political pieces of logic and wisdom, as you're pointing out, that will Lalu's vote transfer to the JDU? Can JDU's vote transfer to Lalu Yadav? I think all these factors, frankly, are really going to be challenged in this particular election. Because even if you were to be speaking to the worst possible critiques of Nitish Kumar, they don't have a negative or a bad comment to make about Nitish Kumar. Now, I think that says something about him. That says something about his image. It says something about the kind of work he's done, and it says something about the goodwill that Nitish Kumar has created for himself. This election may or may not be a referendum for Narendra Modi, according to the BJP. But let me say this very, very clearly, that this election absolutely 200% is a referendum for Nitish Kumar. And Nitish has, simply put, Nitish has converted this election as well into a referendum around his own self. So he's perfectly comfortable with this fact that if people have to vote in Bihar, let them vote on the basis of whether they like Nitish Kumar or not.
Okay, Bhupen, morning. So far the BJP was expected to do well in some of the urban and the upper caste dominated areas, like Patna, Buxar, Saran, etc. Because of the change for development pitch that the BJP was working with. Is that being challenged as well now?
As I mentioned, that there are a lot of political conventions, which are going to be challenged in this particular election. For instance, you talk about caste. Now, the entire BJP strategy, for instance, was based on the fact that the 17% upper caste vote is there for the BJP to be taking. Their strategy was based on the fact that the Yadavs, who traditionally have been the stronghold for Lalu Prasad Yadav, will never think in terms of voting for a Kurmi like Nitish Kumar, who over the last 10 years has gone all out trying to get rid of the Yadavs, in a sense, from the political elite of Bihar. Now, why would the Yadavs think in terms of voting for Lalu Yadav? Why are we saying that the BJP's campaign managers are beginning to feel the heat at the end of these 3 phases? That's because what's happened is that the political blocks, the political vote banks, which were supposed to be intact for various political parties, that has worked out for Lalu Yadav. The Yadavs and the Muslims seem to have consolidated around Lalu Yadav. The BJP strategy of creating a scenario where the Yadavs would have come into the BJP fold That hasn't worked out. The Kushwahas, for instance, Bhupendra Kushwaha, 2.5% of the overall vote in Bihar. That vote isn't transferring itself for the BJP. Now, those are all worrying signs for the BJP. Okay. That's why the likes of, Arun Jaitley and Dharmendra Pradhan have been campaigning now and have been camping in Patna for a while. But I'm not quite sure whether the strategy of bringing in a Jitan Ram Manjhi on one hand, trying to get the 3.2% Musahar vote, bringing in a Bhupendra Kushwaha on the other, trying to bring in the Kushwaha vote on the other hand, hoping that the Yadavs will ditch Lalu Yadav and move on mass towards the BJP. Has that really worked? Of course, the final answer will be known on the 8th, but just on the basis of what one is picking up, extremely difficult for the BJP to be creating a mathematical formula for itself where they're thinking that, they'll be able to get past the halfway mark.
Okay, we'll have a more detailed debate on the 8th, of course, but today I am putting a gun to your forehead. Tell me who wins.
Oh, yeah, Lata, you put that. You do that on most elections. Oh, let me put it this way. I think at the halfway mark, at the end of 3 phases, it's very, very clear that Nitish Kumar has his leg up. There's absolutely no doubt about the fact that Nitish Kumar has the edge. Can this edge be reversed or not over the next 2 phases? Still 2 phases to go. One will have to wait and watch out for in terms of how the polling takes place. But at this stage, safe to say that Nitish Kumar quite clearly has his leg ahead.
All right, Bhupen, you just earned the hatred of some market men. Thank you very much for joining us with your reading after the first 3 phases of the polls in Bihar.